We as Nalibali are at Center for the Book tonight. We will be talking about reclaiming our languages. We have our panelists and our audience that will be participating in the discussion.
We must always keep on telling stories to our youth and to our children about where we come from, what this is all about, what made this country so beautiful and exciting. So that our learners can know what happened in 1976, how we decided to say enough is enough, that we don't want that type of education.
We come here tonight to talk about the role of Africa's youth in promoting a culture of reading for enjoyment. We know it's not just about talking, we know it's about action. So here's to fruitful discussions, here's for respectful debate. Thank you very much again for every single person who came here tonight, for our panelists and to the team who organised this event. Tonight we are stepping into some tricky territory. It's not that teaching children how to read is an easy thing, because it's about language, and language is so complex.
And language is your identity, it's who you are. And also you're talking about starting with self and also starting at home, teaching our children to speak in their own language and be proud of their own language. Because there's certain attitudes. I remember a friend of mine who went home, so we went home and we were all there and she came with the kids, and the kids can't speak isiXhosa. All of them can't speak isiXhosa and ngamaXhosa. And so I was asking, where? Eating the was English, was isiXhosa. And she said, oh well, they go to a model school and they have friends who speak English, so they can't speak isiXhosa. And I was thinking, trying not to be judgmental and all of that, because there's different, things that are happening. And I was talking to Gwe about how it is important in language to have your identity. And when we're talking about language, we're not promoting one or the other. I mean, we want to raise children that are multilingual. We want children to be able to speak different languages because that opens doors for them. And yesterday, someone was talking about the word illiterate. And he said, we are saying by whoever standards or measures, we are saying that our parents, our grandparents, they are illiterate because they can't read and write. And so the measure of being illiterate is whether you can read or write. But what we forget is that we have oral stories as Africans. And therefore, all those stories that are written and that are read, someone was telling those stories before. And therefore that person is not literate. But because we're using the wrong measure to measure literacy, then we will say people are not literate. And I'm thinking now, if Constitution Section 29 of our Constitution says every child has the right to learn in a language that they understand, in their mother tongue, get basic education. But that is not happening. Why is it not happening? Where is the problem? What are we doing to solve this?
We live in a place whereby you find that 60% of the children in English high school. There are very sectors that reflect that, but most of them, they give up on themselves because they believe that if you don't speak English well enough, you are not intelligent. So we want to get rid of the stigma that says that if you don't speak English, you are not intelligent, as well as that black people don't read.
Social media for social change that we can use as well. But how then do we use that? When do we use that? What are we trying to achieve when we use that? Because it's very important to ask the why, to answer the why, and then you start rolling out the plan.
A lot has been said. For me, I carry stories with me, so I'm just going to share on 3 scenarios in terms of what it would mean for me to reclaim African language. Firstly, I did a background search of what it means to reclaim. To reclaim means to retrieve, to recover, bring back. And if you're going to bring back something, you have to ask yourself, how was it lost in the very first place? So we're speaking about a backdrop image of 1956. So it brings about a very important question of how is it possible that after 42 years, we're still talking about language and expression, and how it's lost and how it needs to be retrieved. It means we're only just scratching the surface all these 42 years. And that maybe there's a reach that we're missing somewhere. Because my assumption is, what if no black person knew how to do physics and mathematics, and we were only dependent on white people teaching? How does that look like for us? So what does it mean to be a rainbow nation in the context of schools? That's what I'm interested in.
You guys have inspired me to go back to the Xhosa that I learned at university.
What we've learned today is that it is very important for us to express ourselves in our language and to be able to be comfortable in doing that, because then that is a sense of identity.